Sounds pretty crazy, huh? FOIL method, real simple. What we're going to do is we're going to be multiplying a binomial times a binomial. So we'll put real simple one up here. Let's do x plus 3 times x minus 2. That's going to be our binomial times binomial. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that green. I think that glare is not making it look so well. Now, here's the deal. We did the distributive property. This is basically just doing the distributive property twice. If I'm going to take this binomial times this binomial, of course, remember, order of operations dictates you should do the work in here, but you can't. So if you do the distributive property, meaning x times everything in there, and then the 3 times everything in there, you will wind up with the same solution as if you could have added, subtracted, then multiplied. So we're basically just doing the distributive property twice. There's a nice little acronym that allows you to not miss any terms, and that is this FOIL. And you notice I do have those periods in there because it does stand for things. The FOIL method stands for first, outer or outside, inner or inside, and then L for last. It's just a little way to make sure you get all the terms and don't lose anything. So FOIL, first. We're going to take the first terms in each set of parentheses. So I'm going to take this x and I'm going to multiply it times this x. And of course, if I'm going to take 1x times 1x, I'm going to wind up with 1x squared. So that's what happens when I take my first term times my first term. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go with outside, outside. So that is the outermost. So when I say outside, it's the outermost. So that would be this guy and this guy. So I have x times negative 2. X times negative 2, of course, is negative 2x. Next thing would be inside, which is just basically the opposite of outside. Whoops, wrong color. Let me get a different color here. We're going to do inside. So inside means the innermost 2, those innermost 2. So that would be this 3 and this x. So when I take 3 times x, of course, it's positive 3 times positive x. That would be positive 3x. And then, and I love saying this, last but not least is the last terms in each one. I guess I'll go with this little pinky color here. So we have last. That is the last terms in both set of parentheses. Last terms. And 3 times negative 2, of course, is negative 6. If you notice, now that I've done that with my little color coding here, I have 2 different colors underneath each number in there. That means this guy hit both of those guys. See, black, blue, black, blue. It means this guy, red, pink, hit both of these, red, pink. So we have made sure that we have every term in this guy multiplied times every term in this guy. Now, the only thing is, once you do this, if you take a look at the polynomial we have as a result, he's in standard form except right here in the middle, we have a negative 2x plus 3x. Those are like terms, so for simplification's sake, we need to combine those. So after I go ahead and do that, I'm going to wind up with x squared. I'm going to ditch the 1. We usually don't put that in there. Negative 2x plus 3x, that gives me plus 1x or plus x. And then my minus 6. So after I combine like terms, I have the most simplified trinomial, quadratic trinomial in standard form. Let's try that again. Keep in mind, first, outside, inside, last. This time, excuse me, let's do 2x plus 3, and we're going to multiply that times, let's go x minus 7. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this. So again, anytime I have a binomial times a binomial, and this is why we made sure you understand that language, binomial times a binomial, that screams FOIL. So here we go. First terms. The first terms in each set of parentheses, 2x times x. 2x times x is 2x times 1x. 2 times 1 is 2, and x times x is x squared. Then we go to the next thing, outside. Outside terms are the 2x and 2x times the negative 7, negative 14x. I, we go to inside. Inside most, positive 3, positive 1x. And positive 3 times positive 1x is positive 3x. And then last terms, positive 3, negative 7. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. That gives us our polynomial kind of in standard form, except those middle terms are like terms and should be combined for simplification's sake. This is 2x squared. Negative 14x plus 3x gives me negative 11x, and then minus 21. Now we are in standard form and reduced, simplified as much as possible. Do one more. You may have seen this before. I can't quite remember. I think we do talk about it a little bit in Algebra 1A. Let's step it up a little bit, and if you're feeling pretty good about this process, simply pause the video, or do the problem on your own, then check. If you don't feel that way, well, then don't. Just chill and wait. So let's do 3a minus 4, and let's multiply that times 4a plus 1. Let's do that. So once again, I look at that and I realize, hey, binomial times binomial. What does that mean? That means that I'm dealing with FOIL method. I'm going to go ahead and use my FOIL method to multiply those. And this only applies when you're doing binomial times binomial. So let's go ahead. First terms. First terms are 3a and 4a. Multiply those together. I'm looking at 12a squared. Outermost, outside, 3a and 1 is just 3a. Inside, negative 4 and 4a is negative 16a. And last but not least, the last terms, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So again, double check, look for your like terms. I do have my like terms in the middle again. And I'm looking at 12a squared minus 13a minus 4. So if you did that on your own, hopefully you got that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take it up a notch. Take it up a notch. We've been taking all these videos and getting you to do what you need to do. Let's do one a little bit further than what we need to do. A little more of a challenge. See how it goes. So if you find this easy, see if this is more of a challenge. Let's do 2a cubed minus 4, and let's multiply that times a squared plus 1. Let's give that guy a whirl, see how it works out. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and, again, realize I'm doing binomial times binomial. Doesn't matter the powers of those a's. This is a two-term thing, which means it's a binomial. Another two-term polynomial, which means it's a binomial. So let's go ahead and do our FOIL method. First terms, 2a cubed times a squared. That gives you 2a to the 5th. Don't forget, multiplying variables with exponents, we add the exponents. Outermost terms, outermost. 2a cubed and 1, well, that's just 2a cubed. Then I'm going to do my innermost terms or inside terms. Negative 4 times a squared is negative 4a squared. And then my last terms are going to be negative 4 times 1, which is indeed just negative 4. After I do this, I have a 4-term polynomial that is to the 5th degree. And because I had different powers with my variables, turns out nothing in here is a like term. I got 5th power, 3rd power, 2nd power, and a constant. None of those can be combined. So actually, less work to do. All right, I hope you found that pretty easy. If not, we'll talk about it in class. We'll see you later.